of conversations with presidents, cultural icons, and game changers in every field of human endeavor. If you missed the first cohort, the good news is that we're already planning the next one. Now, the seats will be limited, and those on our waiting list will receive exclusive early access and special discounts not available to the general public. So, if you are ready to transform the way you connect, lead, and build trust, do not hesitate. Go to TavishTalks.com and join the waiting list today. That's TavishTalks.com. The next cohort is coming. Make sure you are in the room. I'm Tavish Smiley, and I hope to see you there.
Welcome back to Living in the Sweet Spot. I'm your host, Angelique Francis, and wow, it's nice to be here on a Friday night with you. What's up, Andy? Oh, y'all usually put me on the weekend, but I'm happy to be here. This is Women's Month, and yes, well, let's just go ahead and get in it, in celebration of Women's History Month. The whole total takeover continues all night long. We got two great hosts to take us through the rest of the way, including Dr. Melina Abdullah with her special guest, Dr. Thema Bryant, and a special rebroadcast later this evening of our annual State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium, moderated by our very own Dominique DePrima, which I heard was off the chain, recorded live earlier this morning. So it's going to be on, and it's going to keep a great night going on as we continue our celebration of Women's History Month with the voices of women all day and all night. So if you are new to me, I am Angelique, and this is Living in the Sweet Spot. If you don't know what the sweet spot is, it's about Kairos moments. It's about this intersection between divine timing. It's about purpose. It's about this intersection between timing, power, performance. And so I bring these incredible people into the sweet spot to talk about just that. Because I don't believe in coincidence. I believe in that, everything is sort of set into the universe, and that nothing is coincidence, nothing is accidental, and everything's got a purpose. So I am honored to be here. And when I think about how incredible this month is, I think every month is Women's Month, quite frankly. But I was honored to be able to think, who could I bring into the sweet spot? And I was thinking, so many women that I'm honored to be in partnership with. But I thought about this one in particular, since everyday miracles are in the sweet spot, right? And there's something about standing in your power in Women's History Month. We talk about there's a time that women who have made it, and we want to honor them, and we want to really honor the women who stayed in it, the women who endured and evolved, and women who refused to be defined by one season or one sound or one moment or one note, right? So I thought about, this is really about real greatness, and it's not about a spotlight. It's really about what happens in the dark. It's really about what happens when the lights go out and what's left behind. It's about staying power. And my guest today embodies that. Molly Wilson is not just a recording artist and a producer and a Grammy-nominated artist. She is a living testimony to what it means to build, to sustain, and to reimagine a career in an industry that constantly is trying to get folks to move on to the next hit, to the next artist, to the next new thing. But she didn't just move on. She moves forward. Through every shift of a note, through every shift in culture, through every challenge, she could have told herself just to go ahead, girl, sit down. But instead she stood up, and she's still creating, still evolving, still making waves, still making new songs. And when you hear her story and hear her music, you'll understand why I brought her forward today, because she is amazing. And she is going to bring this new body of work to you today. We're going to introduce it. I went to Atlanta this past week to her listening party. And when I tell you, people are talking, she's like Whitney Houston. She's like Minnie Riperton. She's like Aretha Franklin. She's like Shaka Khan. I mean, I heard some of the greatest parallels. Tina Marie. I mean, there were so many parallels when they talked about this woman. So I thought I wanted to bring her to you. You know, many people go forward, but I wanted to honor her as she's moving in this new journey. The name of her album is Retro, and that's pretty special, and she'll tell you why she named it that. Joining me today in this sweet spot is a Chicago-born artist who's redefining what love sounds like music. After years behind the scenes shaping other artists, she's now stepping fully into her own spotlight with a sound she calls Sophista Soul, a blend of soul, jazz, and R&B that feels both classic and fresh. Her new project, Retro in Real Time, Where Love Feels Safe, is all about emotional honesty, healing, and a softer way of living and loving. Please welcome Molly Wilson. Molly, what's happening, girl?
Hey, lady, how are you?
Well, that was more than we bargained for. That was more than your publicist sent me, but I just had to do it.
Okay, that was a big blush. I'm like, wait a minute. How are you? I'm honored.
I'm happy to have you here.
I'm also on my Facebook Live, so everybody who's on Facebook, I'm on In the Sweet Spot with Angelique on KBLA Radio. You can tune in.
Well, I know you got a ton of followers, so that's good. And everybody, you need to go ahead and download the app so you can be a loyal KBLA 1580 Facebook followers, because we got some real people. We talk about things that matter. This is the only Black-owned talk radio station west of the Mississippi, and we talk about some real things, and we don't black down here. So you need to come check it out. Well, Molly, girl, I saw you in Chicago. I saw you in Atlanta, and now we are mixing it up, and we are going to talk about all things Molly in a moment when we come forward. All of this right here in the Sweet Spot.
It's a total takeover. Women leading the conversation all day, all night. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. These are hard times for housing in America. Too many in our community face barriers to safe housing, behavioral health care, and affirming spaces for healing, particularly those impacted by poverty and stigma or incarceration. Rooted in South LA, AMAD supports impacted communities through housing, wellness, and leadership development. Ahmad provides culturally responsive, peer-led support from transitional housing and mental health services to leadership development and youth empowerment. They offer safe, affirming houses for youth, transgender women, and formerly incarcerated individuals. Therapy and peer support with a focus on healing trauma in Black communities. HIV prevention and care, free testing, education, and wraparound services for whole person wellness. Standing in the gap with health, housing, and hope. Reach out to Ahmad Institute at 323-569-1610. That's 323-569-1610. Or visit amaad.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
All the women who independent, throw your hands up at me.
This March, we're turning up the volume on the women who changed everything. KBLA Talk 1580 is proud to celebrate Women's History Month, honoring the trailblazers, truth tellers, and game changers who shaped our world, our culture, and our community. From the freedom fighters to the firsts, from the boardroom to the front lines, from the unsung to the unforgettable. All month long, we're celebrating the stories, the voices, and the conversations that remind us that women, Black women, have always led the way. Don't miss a moment. This is our moment. This is our story. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580, Los Angeles' home for the conversations that matter.
I'm your girl, you're my girl, we your girls. Won't you know that we love you?
Are you living your life in the sweet spot?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You're listening to Living in the Sweet Spot with Angelique Francis on KBLA Talk 1580.
All right, if you just joining me, I've got Molly Wilson here. I'm so excited. Molly, you are a Grammy-nominated artist, and you were working behind the scenes. And, you know, I don't even know how you just did this masterful switch. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about what you did behind the scenes before you decided to come on the stage.
I mean, I actually started on the stage, and after just reviewing some contracts, I decided, and seeing some of my peers not really have favorable contracts, I decided to learn the business, and that kind of brought me to a place where, you know, I ended up helping a lot of friends. So I've owned studios for years, since my early 20s. I started in advertising and producing for commercials in Chicago for some of the big agencies, and then moved on to help some of my dear friends, whether it was creating safe spaces in studios, to producing, to marketing, to brand placement. That was my world before I started singing again.
Well, let's talk about some of the studios. You did you've worked with everybody. Let's talk about who you worked with, so just the audience understands the level of connections you've had, what you've done, the kinds of careers that you've changed and impacted along the way.
Well, you know,
I know you don't like to always do this. You don't like to always do this, but I need to do this because before we start talking about your shift, it's so important to me because you gave up a lot to do this because you felt like you were called to do something different, right?
Well, you know, I didn't really give up anything, and I think that's important. You know, it's not the Cinderella helped everybody for the ball and always wanted to do this. It's the, you know, I've always really just put God first and asked him where he wanted me to be and made decisions to not take certain deals and to pivot when I needed to. And I've had the, you know, great pleasure to work with and create safe places for people like Lil Wayne and Drake and, you know, Mike Will Made It, who in return brought, you know, Taylor Swift with Future and Miley Cyrus and Katy Perry, but also had the pleasure of managing Carly Simon and helping her finish her memoir. I mean, it's been a long, long journey, and I've learned a lot along the way, being able to have personal conversations with Whitney Houston and Andre 3000 and and Usher and others to kind of, you know, make sure I was making the right moves, you know, and not making moves just for clout or for money. That was, I mean, the past of the past. Where we are right now is I fell in love, and my husband said a city set on a hill cannot be hidden. And, you know, we started making music together, and now we're here.
So,
Retro in Real Time, it's out.
so when you talk about safe places, I think that's really huge because even the name of your album, what's the little tagline under your album's name?
It's where love feels safe.
Okay,
And,
so
you know,
that's why it's important to me to talk about the safe space, right? And why that's important, what you've seen, what you've gone through, why you even started your nonprofit, right? And why it's important to create safe spaces.
yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of women in the world who we make decisions on what feels familiar. And sometimes if you come from backgrounds that are not as loving and nurturing, you may choose the wrong person. And you know, I always say a lot of times we'll choose someone in a relationship or in business, and then we say, Lord, can you please bless us, instead of saying, Lord, you choose for me. And so that's kind of where I am with the feel safe thing. I wasn't looking for love again after being married twice, and God blessed me with somebody who supports me and uplifts me, and we're business partners, we're creative partners, and it's a beautiful thing.
So this is your first album?
Well, I've created many before, but this is the first real release that I'm actually going out and saying, here we go, guys. This is something I'm proud of. I mean, we've created over 100 songs in the last almost 4 years, and we've created them with friends, and we're really enjoying it.
Okay, so let's tell everybody about your love story real quick, because it's unusual that you have a writing team where it's a husband and wife writing team. So let's talk about that, and then I want to play I'm Not Sorry. But first, let's just go ahead and tell a quick story about the love story real quick and how you came together and became co-writing team.
I mean, it's so organic, and I know that's such a overused word, but Eric and I knew each other for business in 10 years, and, you know, for 10 years, and I had made a pivot from the old studio partnership that I was in and got this notion to find a safe space for women for my Earth Girl and Earth Angel movement. He was a banker who ran commercial lending at a bank where I had done business, and I called him and I said, hey, my brother, I think God is leading me to create this space. And at that moment, he was like, I'm sorry, Molly, I lost my wife and best friend. And I think we talked about this on your last show. So we'll fast forward it to, you know, him encouraging me getting past imposter syndrome and finding friends and loved ones that just happen to be Grammy winning, and actually coming out to LA to work with Mark Batson. And Mark is, I don't know, probably 9, 10, 12 times, who knows, Grammy-winning producer for Alicia Keys, Beyonce, LeAnn Rimes. He said, Molly, I knew what to do with India Ari and her folk guitar, and I know you've got that soul and blues and jazz in you. It's your time. And so he and Eric got together, and I spent 2 years going back and forth from Atlanta and Europe, and we made amazing music. And then I came back to Atlanta and got with Kenneth Whalum after spending some time with some other great Memphis folks. And most of the record that you guys are hearing is that real love that we found. And we had no idea where we were going to be. What Mark says, y'all are Ashford and Simpson. You know, it just kind of naturally happened in the studio. And, you know, I'm a real one. So, you know, you have a friend when you're like, hey, I can't find the word. And they're like, oh, you mean this?
I
when we
love
were in the
it.
studio, and he kind of was there like, oh, here's what it is. I'm like,
I love it.
babe, you just got the hook.
I
And
love
so
it. I love it.
from then
Okay.
on, we just
Well,
started writing together.
without further ado, let's go ahead and play I'm Not Sorry. So, because I know the audience is like, well, let's just hear the woman sing. Okay, let's hear a little Molly Wilson. I'm Not Sorry.
I'd be so happy for you, but my win ain't your win in your book. And jealousy, it screams from the fake looks. It hurts that I just didn't see how low you could go. In my heart, no, but I'm gonna be happy anyhow. I'm not sorry, I'm in love. 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 I won't be made guilty to smile. He makes me so happy all the while. And I ain't the same young dumb girl that I used to be. I'm finally in love. My life entirely has changed.
Okay. We're going to leave them a little something to buy. But, Molly, so when you talk about the name of this album is Retro in Real Time, Where Love Feels Safe, what does that really mean to you? That's a powerful title, Where Love Feels Safe. And you're not sorry. What you're not sorry about?
Well, sometimes when you fall in love, everyone isn't happy for you, especially in my world, because I was a huge giver and I didn't have all the boundaries that I do now. And, I have someone who's here to protect me and love me and be here for me. And, it's a really great thing when you have someone who we have fun together. It's easy. We're both very, how do I say, we got a lot of energy, and we do a lot for a lot of people, and we both had our own communities, and we came together, and, we're not sorry. We're not sorry. We love the Lord. We're grateful. We give it up to God often and say that he did this. It was a match made in heaven, and we talk about retro in real time.
I love it.
I don't think many people talk about how they stand on the shoulders of others who've inspired them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I had the opportunity to headline the Billie Holiday Theater, and I stood on stage and I said, I stand on the shoulders of the women who had to go through the back door, and some of them were arrested, like Ella Fitzgerald, for singing for segregated crowds. So for the women who opened the door and broke through barriers, and I love Sarah Vaughan, I love Dinah Washington, I love Nancy Wilson. I enjoy these women that really paved the way for me. And so Retro in Real Time is me saying, I'm just standing on those who paved the way, and love feels very safe. And this is our love story in song, Retro in Real Time.
Oh, I love that. Your love story. That's interesting. I like that.
So
I like that. I've heard you refer to your sound, very special sound. You call it Sophista Soul.
Well, that's what Eric and others call it. I don't label myself at all. My sound. Like I said, I'm influenced by so many. My voice is jazzy. I come from Chicago, so I love the Chicago blues. I've been in SoCal and had the opportunity to be on stage with Mo Beeks and Eric Garcia and some of the people at the, just in that old jazz and blues world. And I love John Baptiste because he's like, don't label me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I work with a lot of soul artists and musicians, and so all the things that come out in this record, they're just all a piece of me and what I listen to and what I love.
I know that you and I were in conversation because we're trying to do a project together, but I remember you were telling me you were about to go out on the road with Angie Stone, and you had just signed a deal with her, and a week later, she passed. I know that was
I didn't sign a deal. Angie was a dear friend, and, for years I was helpful to her, and, she wasn't really done right by the industry, and she didn't always have the budget, and anytime she needed anything, I was there for her, but she was like, Molly, I love that you're singing again, and, I would love for you to be on the road with me. And so we put out a press release, and she said, Molly, you've helped so many others, and it's your time to shine. I can't wait for us to share our voices together. And that was on a Thursday, and on Saturday it was her time to, it was her time, and she was in a car accident. And so the whole last year was God just really giving Eric and I the roadmap to, you don't know where you're going to be or what you're going to do, just following me and let me lead. And literally that day we got the call to headline the Billie Holiday Theater, and we did touring in LA and Chicago and sold out my hometown often, and so that was beautiful.
Well, you have affected so many people. When we come forward, we're gonna talk more about all of that. But before, as we go out for a second, let's play a song that we'll talk about when we come back. Cheat Code.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna bombard you as soon as you get in the door. Let's just take a minute and thank God that you made it home safely. Right? Got enough stress. Ooh, take up all your blues, pour a glass of wine, just sit back and relax, get in the mood. Dinner's almost done, we'll have a little fun. Just unpack, let's kick back and unwind. It's not a lot I need to know. You heard about enough, don't you want a sabbatical? Baby, take your time.
She said what she said. Women all day, all night. You're listening to The Takeover.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. The Senate spending bill to fund Homeland Security is dead in the House. Speaker Mike Johnson blasted the plan, saying it leaves out ICE and Customs and Border Protection and would weaken border security.
This gambit that was done last night is a joke.
He says Republicans will push a full funding bill instead, backed by President Trump. Seattle is seeking a new trial after a jury awarded more than $30 million to the father of Antonio Mays Jr., a teen killed in the chop zone. The city calls the verdict excessive, while the lawsuit claims officials were negligent. His father remembered him as kind-hearted and proud to be black. And Black Detroit Mayor Mary Sheffield has ordered that all proceeds from city-owned commercial property sales go to Detroit's Affordable Housing Trust Fund, up from 40%. The move is expected to generate about $4 million a year to support affordable housing and prevent displacement. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
They say time flies when you're having fun. The founding members cohort is now officially over. Hard to believe. It's been a joy sharing what I've discovered after nearly 40 years of conversations with presidents, cultural icons, and game changers in every field of human endeavor. If you missed the first cohort, the good news is that we're already planning the next one. Now, the seats will be limited, and those on our waiting list will receive exclusive early access and special discounts not available to the general public. So, if you are ready to transform the way you connect, lead, and build trust, do not hesitate. Go to TavishTalks.com and join the waiting list today. That's TavishTalks.com. The next cohort is coming. Make sure you are in the room. I'm Tavish Smiley, and I hope to see you there.
Heading out of town this spring? Metro makes getting to LAX easier than ever. Just take the C or K train lines to the new LAX Metro Transit Center. Then catch a free shuttle straight to your terminal. Easy, affordable, stress-free. Travel smart. Go Metro. It's never too early to start talking about money in realistic ways with your kids. JP Morgan Chase navigates how to educate your kids now about creating long-lasting, healthy money habits. Whether your kids are in elementary school, high school, or college, now is a great time to start a conversation about ways to create healthy money habits as they grow, ultimately benefiting their financial future. Talking about money in a realistic way to support your kids' lifestyle and dreams, your first banking account geared towards high school or college. It's never too early. Explaining the basics, what you earn and what you spend, building financial confidence starts with getting organized. Learning and practicing vital money skills now will stay with them for life. Tools they will have to stay on top of their finances and achieve their goals. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA Talk 1580 stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars working collectively to improve the position of the black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare black workers for employment in high-wage career track jobs. The LA Black Workers Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. And they are advocating for a fair deal for black workers in the new Los Angeles City Charter. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing, or learn about union apprenticeship programs and trade registries, please visit lablackworkercenter.org. That's lablackworkercenter.org. Together, we can beat the black jobs crisis and build a more equitable Los Angeles. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Live from Leimert Park, USA. The cultural mecca of Black Los Angeles. Broadcasting from historic Crenshaw Boulevard. We are unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
No, I'm not gonna bombard you as soon as you get in the door. Let's just take a minute and thank God that you made it home safely. Right? Got enough stress. Ooh, take up all your blues, pour a glass of wine, just sit back and relax, get in the mood. Dinner's almost done, we'll have a little fun. Just unpack, let's kick back and unwind. Don't you want a sabbatical? Baby, take your time. I just like to dine.
All right. If you're just joining me, that is none other than Molly Wilson. Molly Wilson. So in celebration of Women's History Month and Total Takeover continues all night long, we've got two great hosts to take us the rest of the way, including Dr. Melina Abdullah with her special guest, Dr. Thema Bryant, and special rebroadcast later this evening of our annual State of Black Women in LA symposium moderated by the one, the only Dominique DePrima, recorded live earlier this morning. So it's going to be a great night, so stay with us and we continue our celebration of Women's History Month with the voices of women all day and all night. Yes, Molly Wilson. I love this project, Molly. I really do. I'm so proud of you. I'm so honored to have heard it, coming together and just being able to see you perform, and your listening party was amazing. It's called Retro.
And you were on the road with me, don't forget, in Chicago.
That was so sweet. Retro in real time is what it's called, when love feels safe. That's everything, to be able to be in a relationship where you feel safe and vulnerable and that you can trust that. That is everything. That's what everybody sings about, right?
Well, not really. I mean, there's a lot of people who act like they got it all and don't need a man. And I think that was part of what Eric and I really wanted to do, is just, we believe in love. And, he was fortunate to be married to a beautiful woman who actually, his late wife passed of cancer, but he got to feel what true love was like. And, I've had love in my life, but I've never been in love like this. And to have it and feel safe is really a blessing. And I'm grateful. And that's why we share it in our song.
So tell me about the song we just played.
It's funny because I got that melody, and I think there were a couple words, but he was like, I ran with the boys lots, and I had a lot of male cousins, and, I kind of know what bugs guys, and just like, okay, they need their space, they need to watch the game. But he was like, he came up with the whole concept. He was like, let's make a song telling the women that, have some food ready, but also the men, do what you need to do to make the women feel safe so they want to give you your space to watch the game. And, there's so much pressure for men out here in this world, and just to make it home safely. And as soon as you hit the door, neither one of y'all need to just jump right into the business. I think it's healthy just to take a minute and let each other unwind.
Cheat code.
And that's really what cheat code is.
Yeah, cheat code. Tell the people a little bit of some of the lyrics in cheat code. Cheat code.
I mean, watch the game tonight. I'll be out in the other room. It's cool. That's one of the lyrics. Like, it's cool. Like, I don't need to be up, but that's just me. I don't need to be up under you every second.
I'm looking at my board up. I'm looking at the technique. Andy is clapping his hands. I just want you to know he's doing yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
But it is kind of like the cheat code. Like, hey, we don't, especially, for men of color, it's like, I'm just glad you made it home safe with all the things that are happening out in the street.
Hey, that part.
And so the pressures that you have, pick the right time. It may not be the right time to talk about it. And same for women. Men, there are sometimes it's like we need that woosah in that moment as well. So it goes both ways.
Well, you know what? Well, I will say that we have watched you on social media, you and your husband, from the wedding pictures to, you dating and the wedding picture and coming together. You have been very authentic in sharing this journey. His handle is the Black Banker, and you're sharing you, and sometimes you're makeup and sometimes you're not, and you're just so real and authentic. And I think that's why people love you, because you are just real, right? You're real. And
well, what's funny is people, when we first got together, there were people that were like, don't share your love. You know, people are funny. And listen, if God gave it to us and he's telling us, encourage people to love again. And that's what Take a Chance is about.
Okay.
It's like take a chance on love. If it could happen for us, it could happen for you too. And how many people said, oh, because nobody knew my business, you know, and I didn't date within the industry like that. And so it's like, you know, when you open yourself up and say, God did this for us, it gives other people the opportunity to say, well, maybe it can happen for me.
I love that.
You know?
Take a Chance is on the album. We're not gonna play that one today, but that's one of my favorites on the album.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I told you what I know. I told you my favorites. That was on my list, right?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
You know, when I think about all that you do, I got a chance to see Stonewood Studios and your ranch. You talk about your ranch a lot, and you do your nonprofit there. That just your idea for your nonprofit. Talk about what that was and what the vision for that was, because you making music in this place and making music in a place that's lovely but gives back. When I think about the sweet spot, you know how I define the sweet spot is that intersection between purpose and power and performance. That's what you do every single day, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, I didn't have an easy path, and it would have been a lot easier to kind of sell my soul out or say yes to things that I knew were wrong. But I was brought up in the church, and my roots are in gospel. When you hear these songs, we pray before every song. We ask God to deliver them. But, you know, as I got more into the music industry and people were like, who are you? You're not afraid of anything. You know, I had a tough upbringing in North Chicago and Waukegan and on to Evanston and south side of Chicago. And so, you know, I was at a Grammy panel, and it was when I was nominated, and there were young girls there that were from my Earth Girl charity, and they said, Molly, how did you feel being the only woman in the room, and how did you get through it? And I said, wow, I never even saw myself as the only woman in the room. You know, I've been blessed to be my grandmother's namesake, and so I'm different, you know, like I grew up one of the oldest cousins of the boys, and I was a leader to them. So as I got into the music industry, I think it just transferred over where, you know, my dad used to say, people used to say I was bossy, and he would say, no, she's a leader. And so, you know, a lot of these young girls never had somebody to give them the authority to be authentically themselves and to say that ain't for me. You know, and so I wanted to give them that power to be unapologetically themselves, but also some of the skills to get through without being, you know, abused in this industry.
And you did that. And, you know, and you continue to do that through your music and all that you do. Let's play Andy real quick. Let's try to get in When You Know.
Lonely nights I was blue till I found you. You showed me a lifeline. I'll give it all. I'll give it up to you. You know, you know, you know. When you know, you know, you know. You know, you know, you know. I'm waiting for a lifetime,
The women have the mic, and they're not giving it back. It's a total takeover, all day, all night. KBLA Talk 1580.
Yo, it's So Williams, the VOR, and I know you're tired of pretty gems with pretty lies, where people seem to scroll more than they sweat. Well, it's time to level up. Welcome to Huff and Puff, where excuses die and champions rise. Smack dab at 1221 North La Brea on the corner of Fairview. This ain't a photo shoot, it's a battleground. Certified achievers in the game. Trainers who grind with you, not post pictures beside you. Whether you're chasing your next personal record or just trying to outrun your past, this is your sanctuary of sweat. No mirrors, no filters, no fluff, just pain, passion, and purpose. Stop talking, start training, huff hard, puff loud, be legendary. Where folks go to war with their weaknesses. Huff and Puff.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return,
But I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
what do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
There's no championship league for small business owners, but if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation, one-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. The midterm election campaign season is here now. The 2028 presidential election is right around the corner. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. It's all in for 2026 and 2028. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You're listening to Living in the Sweet Spot with Angelique Francis on KBLA Talk 1580.
All right, if you're just joining me, we've got Molly Wilson. And Molly, you know, I am so amazed by this global reach that you've already managed to have. Internationally, Europe, you're taking Europe by storm already. What's that about?
Yeah, well,
I'm loving it. What do you think?
You know, I have a soul sound, and I have a sound that they're familiar with, and it's funny because a lot of the people in the UK say Amy Winehouse, and I'm like, well, she loved Dinah Washington, and so did I. And I think, you know, a lot of times you say, you know, I get compared to certain people because that's who people know, but you know, I feel like my music is for everybody who has, you know, who loves soul and who loves a jazzy voice, and there's some blues and some R&B, and, you know, I'm just grateful that everybody's feeling the records. Everybody's feeling it. Let's play At the Altar, Andy. Let's check it out. I feel like we're having a little listening party right here. Yeah, we are.
Better watch the way you live today. Seeds that you sow, you reap them away. Life without you was blind, but now I can see.
I'm looking at the clock. Time is running out. You know, I'm loving, I'm thinking about that story you told me about Clive Davis meeting you as a young singer and wanting to work with you early on in your career and you taking a pass. I'm like, who passes on Clive Davis? I don't even understand that. But you did because you knew that it wasn't the time for you. Really?
Yeah, it wasn't even about him. I have a lot of respect for the ear that he had and the music that he did, but at the time, it was that transition where people were not buying records and the digital, which still, you get $20 for, thousands and thousands of views when that's what people should be paying for a whole project. And so, I made the decision to learn the business versus to just jump in as an artist, and I'm grateful that I did.
Yeah. Your music feels so intentional and so timeless. What do you think sets you apart from what everybody else is doing in this industry? What makes you different and your music different?
I just think everybody's different, and I'm true to myself. And so
Molly, everybody's not different. You are though. You are unique.
Well, I think everyone's different. I think it takes a lot of guts to be yourself.
Okay.
Instead of mirroring what other people do, and my music is not just me. It's a collaboration between friends that I love, and I really do give it to God, and He guides Eric and I on the creative as well. So obviously my roots are in the church, and I've been around and been in the studio with a lot of amazing artists. And so I think you pick up certain things along the way, and this music is a culmination of what I really love. And I think that's what you hear here.
When people finish listening to your album, what do you want them to walk away with? What do you want them to feel? Because it's not really what you say, right? It's what you want them to feel.
I want them to feel hope. I want them to feel like it's never too late. I want them to feel like, if you feel like you can't do it anymore or on your own, you can give it to God, and He'll guide you, and have faith. Keep on moving.
Is there a woman, this is Women's Month, is there a woman or two in your life that inspired you more than others that you want to shout out?
I mean, my mother's a sweetheart. My great-grandmother, who I'm named after, I'm her namesake. Half of North Chicago and Waukegan are her offspring, and so those two. My grandmother, who's alive, Beatrice, she's my spiritual guide, and I love her, and I think those three are enough, right?
That's pretty significant, yeah. Pretty special.
Yeah, it's really sweet to have them.
So how do people buy your album? How do people follow you? Do you have some dates coming up?
So when you hear Molly Wilson, a lot of people try to find me Molly, but my name is Molly like the country, Mali.
Like the
Mali Wilson.
Yes.
Yes, like the country in Africa, Mali Wilson. You can buy the record there. You can get merch there. And then on Instagram, it's at IAM_MALI. And it's Mrs. Molly Wilson on TikTok. And, that's how you can find me.
And, I ask most of my guests, well, you have a date coming up. Tell them about where you're going to be going.
I do Chicago next 1 week from today.
Yeah.
Friday, April the 3rd, I'll be at the Epiphany Center, and really grateful for Chicago. They say that you never get supported in your own land, and Chicago's been wonderful. And so I look forward to seeing everybody at the Epiphany Arts Center. It'll be the first time that I am sharing the songs from the new album.
Yeah, that's a great spot. I like the little spot. Awesome. And my dear, I have to ask you, when are you living in the sweet spot? When will you be living in your sweet spot?
I feel like I am. I feel like, every day is a new day, and I'm really enjoying this journey. I think giving people advice and love over the years, I'm now like, practice what you preach, girl. Enjoy the journey.
Okay. Well, you know, we're going to end this segment with a song from your album, of course, called Finally Safe. Can you set it up real quick?
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of times in your life you're in relationships and you're just in the relationship, but you're just used to the chaos. And you know, I'm not down for that anymore. This time I'm finally safe. I'm in a situation where I have somebody who loves and supports me, and we're having such a wonderful time. So that's what it's about.
Okay. Well, thank you, Molly Wilson. I love you, girl. Best
Love
of
you too.
everything.
I'm so grateful for you and everyone at KBLA.
All right.
And thank you, Angelique, in the sweet spot.
Okay, we'll see you soon. There's Everyday Miracles
Okay,
right here in the sweet spot. All right, sending you love from the East Coast to the West.
All right, love you.
All right.
Okay,
love you.
love you.
Bye.